Is it Lower Wacker? How many whackers? Should we do a shot of Malort?
Just wait long enough, you'll hear gunshots. Nope, never mind. Welcome back, everybody. It's Anders. Today, we are making 3 Chicago-themed cocktails. Why, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. Because Chicago is where we're filming right now, and it's where we have been for the last 6 years. But today is the last day we're gonna be filming in this studio in Chicago. I'm leaving, taking you with us. And I've been in Chicago for 23 years now. I figured that was long enough. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. So today, in honor of this great city, I thought I would make 3 Chicago-themed cocktails. 2 are classics, 1 is an original of mine. Can't wait to show you, so stick around to the bar. So let's kick this thing off with number 1, the Chicago Fizz. This drink is a classic. It dates back to 1914. It was found in the book Drinks by Jacques Straub. I like this drink. I'll tell you why I like this drink. It's tasty, but I like it for another reason. It is the precursor to one of my all-time favorite whiskey drinks, the Elk's Own. Now, there's no whiskey in this drink. It's a rum-based drink. Started off as the Chicago Fizz, morphed into the Elk's Fizz, which morphed into the Elk's Own. So it's an important drink. In a shaking tin, start with 1 ounce of Jamaican rum. To that, add an ounce of ruby port. You could also use a tawny port, but I prefer a ruby port in this one. 1 ounce of fresh lemon juice, and 3/4 of an ounce of a semi-rich simple syrup. That's 1.5 parts sugar to 1 part water. Now we wanna add egg white. I like to do this separately. So in the cheater tin, add the egg white of 1 small egg or half a large egg white. Give that a dry shake without ice for about 10 seconds or so. Then add ice, give it a wet shake, double strain into a chilled highball glass, and top with an ounce of soda water. Do this carefully, it's gonna foam up. Express lemon oil across the top. And if you'd like, you can drop in a straw, and there it is, the Chicago Fizz. Little foamy top. The straw, by the way, is optional. I think traditionally you would drink it without the straw, but there's a lot of foam there and it's gonna end up all on your face. So, cheers. Yeah, that's great. That's really good. I love fortified wines. I love ruby port, tawny port, vermouths, sherries, Madeira. It's all so good. In here, you get this just a red fruitiness from the port. And then you have the Jamaican rum that supports the whole thing. Now this is very similar to the Elk's Own. So the Elk's Own is essentially this drink, but instead of the rum, you've got rye whiskey, and there is no soda water. But at its core, it's very much the same drink. So this drink is the ancestor to the Elk's Own, which I just adore. I would drink this any time of year, any time of day. It is really easy to drink, so, just be careful, but it's very, very good. On to number 2, but first, a quick word from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by ZBiotics. After a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to. I can either have a great night or a great next day, but with pre-alcohol, I can have both. ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to make ZBiotics your first drink of the night, drink responsibly, and you'll feel your best tomorrow. Pre-alcohol helps me out a lot when I'm having to test multiple cocktails before a shoot. I can confidently plan on feeling my best the next day. Plus, April is a sprint of outdoor celebrations. Spring's here. From the first pitch of baseball season to the start of festival circuits, don't let a rough next day keep you on the sidelines. Drink pre-alcohol to stay ahead of the game and make the most of every sunny Saturday. Go to zbiotics.com/Anders to learn more and get 15% off your first order when you use the code Anders at checkout. ZBiotics is also backed with 100% money-back guarantees, so if you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember, zbiotics.com/Anders. Use the code Anders at checkout and get 15% off. Feel your best tomorrow, and as always, drink responsibly. Thanks, ZBiotics. Onto the film. Number 2, the Chicago cocktail. You can't have a list that's Chicago drinks without featuring the Chicago cocktail. The thing is, I always thought the Chicago cocktail was called the Ohio cocktail for the longest time. So maybe you can call it both, but I call it the Chicago cocktail now. In fact, Harry Craddock called it the Chicago cocktail in his book, and that's the drink that we're making today. Before you make this, there is an optional step. If you want, you can sugar the rim of the glass. I usually don't, but today I'm going to. Pop that back in the freezer, and then in a shaking tin, start with 1 ounce of cognac. To that, add 1/4 ounce of orange curacao, and then 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Now there's no citrus in this drink, but I still like this drink shaken. Shake that up with a little bit of ice, single strain into the prepared glass, and then top it off with champagne or another dry sparkling wine. It's gonna be about 2 to 3 ounces. Now, if you want, another optional thing you can do here is express orange oil across the top. And there's the Chicago cocktail. Cheers. I'm gonna be honest with you, the bubbles on this die really quickly. When you first pour it, it makes a nice foamy top and it dies instantly, especially if you do the expressed orange oil across the top. But it doesn't take away from how delicious this drink is. That's really nice. It's a drier drink, and you could adjust that a little bit based on the bubbly wine that you use. I used a brut champagne, so it does have a nice dry finish. The sugared rim helps that. In fact, Harry Craddock said, use castor sugar, which is a finer sugar, kind of the consistency almost of like powdered sugar. But with all the liquid happening here in this drink, it turns to paste on the side of your glass, gets everything sticky. I don't prefer that. If I am going to sugar the rim on this drink, I like the granulated sugar. But most times I just leave the sugar out altogether. Actually, it's kind of like a cross between a champagne cocktail and a sidecar. By the way, this glass was given to me as a gift from Leandro over at Educated Barfly when he came to visit here in Chicago 3 years ago. It was a while back. So if you're looking for these glasses, I'm guessing you can head over to Educated Barfly and get them from him. Cheers, Leandro. On to number 3, Lower Wacker. This is an original of mine, and I put a lot of thought into this drink. I feel like for the city of big shoulders, we needed something bolder. So I've made a whiskey-based cocktail, rye whiskey specifically, and I call it Lower Wacker because of Lower Wacker Drive downtown. If you know, you know. There are different levels of Wacker. You've got Upper Wacker, which is all pretty and nice and you can see the sun. Then you drop to Lower Wacker, where GPS cuts out and everybody's driving fast and it's dark and it's dirty. And then there's like Lower Wacker and lower. I don't know how many levels down it goes, probably to the center of the earth. But I named this one after Lower Wacker. I'm gonna tell you more about how I made this once we make it. So in a mixing glass, start with 2 ounces of rye whiskey. To that, add 1/2 ounce of sweet vermouth, 1/2 ounce of Chinar, 1/4 ounce of an apricot liqueur, and 1 dash of Angostura bitters. Add ice and stir, and then rinse your glass with Malort. This list would not be complete if we didn't at least mention Malort. Strain the cocktail into the glass, express lemon oil across the top, and garnish with a cocktail cherry. And there it is, Lower Wacker. Cheers. All right, yeah, okay. Now it looks familiar, right? Kind of looks like a Manhattan. That was intentional, but there's a lot going on in this drink. Let's take a sip first. Cheers. Yeah, that's a fun drink. I really like it. There's a lot going on. So the base is rye whiskey because it is Chicago. It needs to have something strong. I think a sipping cocktail is more appropriate than these other drinks in this lineup. I wanted something with a bit more bravado, but there's more to it. In the mix, I've got a split of sweet vermouth and Chinar, because sweet vermouth and Chinar are a great combination, and that was introduced to me with the cocktail called the Bitter Giuseppe. That is a good drink. Created by Stephen Cole, so it's a nod to Stephen Cole, a Chicago bartender, as well as the fine folks that were at Violet Hour, RIP. Violet Hour came to Chicago and brought good drinks here, and all of a sudden in Chicago, this was like 2007, you know, during that whole cocktail renaissance time, all of a sudden all these places were making really good drinks. Not saying that places don't make good drinks anymore, but back then, man, it was really special, and that's why I got into cocktails. And then the apricot liqueur, I really like mixing with apricot liqueur. I don't think that's a secret on this channel. So that's a little bit of me in this cocktail. Oh, that sounds weird. A little bit of me in the cocktail. That's not what I meant, but you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I specifically used that brand of apricot liqueur because it's not too sweet, it's kind of floral, and this is not a fruity drink, but a little bit just kind of rounds it out and adds some life to the cocktail. And then the Malort. that is just a rinse. And believe me, you taste it. It really just gives you kind of a bright bitterness that gets you on the sides of the tongue at the end. Reminds you that this is Chicago. It's a beautiful city, but I tell you what, if you're not careful, it'll kick you in the teeth. And the cherry is because, well, you deserve something sweet. Oz, would you care to jump on?
All right. Hello.
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 Oz, would you care to go down the line?
Okay.
The Chicago lineup. That's the Chicago Fizz.
The Chicago Fizz. Here we go. Oh.
You like it?
Yeah, it's really good. It's tart. Yummy. Okay, and this one is the Chicago.
Chicago,
the
right.
Chicago cocktail. Yeah. This is so bittersweet. Anders has been here for 23 years. And for me, it's been 16 years. All right, cheers. Ooh. Yeah. Hold on. I need to get some of the sugar. Hold on. This is good. I like it. It's way drier. Like, it's not a sweet cocktail at all. So I like the sugar on there. So
Chicago Fizz or Chicago cocktail.
And?
Well, I was just wanting to ask you, when you moved to Chicago, how long did you think you would live here?
Oh, 2 years.
2 years, really?
Yeah. But you know, I complain about Chicago a lot, and now that we're leaving it, it makes me a little sad.
We are moving to a neighboring state, so we will be back for visits. On to Lower Wacker.
Now it's Lower Wacker. I've been stuck down there.
Have you ever been down to Lower Wacker?
Is that where you go get your car, or is that Lower
I think that's where they tow your car.
Is it Lower Wacker? How many levels are there? How many whackers?
How many whackers
are there?
How many whackers in Chicago?
A lot.
Going in for a second sip. That says something.
That's so good. This is perfect, actually.
What do you think about the bitterness?
I like the Malort in there. You can, only a rinse and you taste it. It's like Chicago, you know? It's like that dirt. Should we do a shot of Malort?
I thought about that. Should we do one?
Oh, should we do a shot of Malort? I'll do that much. I'll do a half shot. Sorry.
Right. Nothing wrong with half shots.
I'm doing a half shot. I'm a lightweight.
As we transition over, we are going to be taking a little time off because we've got to break all this down. We've got to move it and build it back up. And if you want to follow us on this journey, head on over to Patreon. We're going to keep uploading and giving updates over there.
So we're moving to Wisconsin, to Anders' homeland.
Also known as God's country.
Okay, let's take it easy.
I'm sorry.
To be closer to nature and to family. But it's gonna be business as usual once we get there and we get everything set up. So don't worry, nothing's gonna change.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
It's not terrible. It really isn't. It's
the after.
You're right. It's like 10 seconds after. Thank you, ZBiotics, for sponsoring today's film. I hope that all of you get to try these cocktails, especially Lower Wacker. Let us know in the comments down below if you do. Thank you, Chicago.
Thank you, Chicago.
We'll see you next time. Stick around. Be excellent to each other. Cheers.
Goodbye.